Hi there everybody, this is David, and today I want to talk about what is next for Hamaguchi, the team behind the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. Now that those are kind of gone, they're gonna be done, it's coming out in spring, it's wrapping up, what are they going to be doing next? What is that team gonna be doing next? Because that's like their triple A development team. What are they gonna be working on next? And that's definitely worth a sub as you come and you join our party and you level on up with me. Thank you so much for your sub, your like, and your brand new hype. It helps me out a ton. So this comes from an interview with Game Informer, and I just kind of want to go over some of these questions and answers and just kind of like give you my opinion, all that kind of stuff. So they go on to ask and they say, you know, as this is the final part of the trilogy, it's releasing in the first half of next year, what is next for you? He says, right in this moment, I am fully focused on completing Final Fantasy VII Revelation and ensuring that we're delivering the Final Fantasy VII Remake series in a perfect state, so that's where I'm at right now. At the time, I do see a lot of fans and community asking me to take on the helm for a Final Fantasy VI Remake. Yikes! I personally don't want that. I personally do not want that. Square Enix famously came out and they were like, if we did a remake of Final Fantasy VI in the same way that we did it to 7, it would take 20-something years for us to do. Oh my gosh! And everybody unanimously was like, shut up, Square Enix! Like, that's not what we want from you! That's not what we want. Like, it's kind of like Earth to Square Enix. That's not what we want. We just want, like, a really cool, from the ground up remake of Final Fantasy VI, or even, like, you know, just like, I don't know, just like spruce it up a bit, you know what I mean? But we don't want it done in the Final Fantasy VII style. I think I could speak for a lot of people whenever I say we don't want any Final Fantasy game done again in the Final Fantasy VII style. Like, if you're gonna go ahead and remake them, really stick to what made it work the first time around. Take those bones and just kind of elevate it a bit, you know? Don't redo it and then, you know, redo the timelines and add whispers and God knows what. So, yeah. He goes on to say, I'm seeing a lot of that floating around online, but you know, a Final Fantasy VI remake or any other remake, it could be me or it could be someone else. Personally, I think that it might be in better hands if it went to another creator in Square Enix. You and me both, Hamaguchi, you and me both. I think that it would be better for maybe like Team Asano to take it on. They're being the ones who are doing Adventure of Elliot. They're doing the ones who are behind like Octopath and things like that. I think that they would really do that justice and really do it well. I would really enjoy that. So he goes on to say, in terms of what I personally want to do, obviously I think that my next creative work is also going to be a JRPG. When you look at all the other titles that we've released at Square Enix, not just the Final Fantasy VII Remake series, I think that Square Enix as a brand, as a company, is more than capable of delivering this grand-scale RPG that could resonate to gamers across the world. Fans might have a lot of different expectations, but for me personally, I do want to take on this new challenge with another RPG title after this, whether it be Final Fantasy or a different IP. Again though, we don't know. But personally, if it's not Final Fantasy, that's also exciting, because it could be a challenge for me. So whatever it is, I do hope that fans look forward to it. So, personally, I think that, like, he's been the face of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, like it or hate it. He's been the face of it, and he's gotten a lot of backlash over these past couple of years about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's like all the hate just goes to him. So he's like, you know, oh, I don't think that that's, you know, really what I want to do. I don't want it to be another remake, because he goes on to say, he clarified he's not interested in a remake. It's not going to be a remake. So yeah, he does not want to do a remake because I don't think that he wants to be beholden to somebody else's work. He wants to put out his own work. And I think that he showed that he can really put out something very special. And I think that it would be a good idea to hand off the reins of Final Fantasy 17 off to him and let him go on and work on his own Final Fantasy. I think that after all of this, like, he's really proved that he can pull off something really special. So I think that I would love to see what he would do if he was given free reign with his own Final Fantasy game and see what he would actually do there. And, you know, he wouldn't be abused by some Final Fantasy 7 fans being like, you know, oh, this isn't, you know, holding up to what it was 30 years ago and all this. And I think that he's kind of like sick of that. And that's why he's like, I don't want it to be a remake. Although I've got to say this, I think that he would do a fantastic job if he were to remake Xenogears. I think that he would really do that justice. I really do think that he would just he would knock it out of the park if he were to remake Xenogears and they, you know, actually redid Disc 2 properly. I could totally see him, like, just really just doing that great justice. So I'm surprised that they're not looking into that, because he doesn't want to do a remake. He's actually, it's not even that he doesn't want to do a remake. He literally says, it will not be a remake. It is not going to be a remake. Not, I don't want it to be, it will not be. He is refusing to do a remake. He says, as a team, I do think that there's an opportunity to work on a smaller scale, like a AA title, or a new Final Fantasy title, like 17, or even a new AAA franchise. I think that all of those would be good. So I think that another option out there to do would be to work on maybe a sequel to a game that we haven't seen in quite some time, like maybe even a Xenogears 2, maybe a Chrono Trigger 2. I think that those would be fantastic things that he could actually go ahead and work on if he really wanted to. Another thing that has been brought up, it's been brought up by Yoshi P, it's been brought up by Hamaguchi, is that we know that Final Fantasy fans and players are aging older, and they're aging out of it, and the younger players aren't really grasping onto it like we did, and the reason for that is because the development times are so long. So that's why he's talking about maybe doing a AA Final Fantasy title, like we're seeing Final Fantasy Resonance, and that's a way to put out more Final Fantasy games. That's a way to get more people into it, because the more Final Fantasy games you have coming out each year, the easier it is for younger players to get into it, because they keep on seeing it. It's like whenever we saw Final Fantasy growing up, and it was like every single year, oh God, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. Like even on the Game Boy, we had the Final Fantasy Legend games, we had the regular Final Fantasy games on the NES and the SNES, and then we had 4 of them on the PlayStation. Like they just kept on coming, so it was really easy for us to latch onto those, but it's harder for new gamers to latch onto them now. So I think that maybe if he does maybe go on to like a AA Final Fantasy thing like that, I think that that would be a really cool idea for him to do too. But I do want to hear from you. What do you think that he's going to work on? Do you think that he's going to get Final Fantasy 17? Do you think that he might work on a Xenogears 2 or a Chrono Trigger 2? You know, let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, have a good day.